Hello, I'm Tim Loughton, Member of Parliament for East Worthing and Shoreham, and I've produced a short podcast today on the government's decision this week to go ahead with the third runway and sixth terminal at Heathrow. Now, this decision has been a long time coming. The last Labour government under Tony Blair first signified a preference for Heathrow back in 2003 and produced a white paper. Nothing came of that. Then in 2012, the coalition government set up a commission under Howard Davis to look at all the options. That reported several years ago and expressed a preference for Heathrow. And at long last, this week, the government has said that the favoured option is Heathrow, and then I'll start the process rolling for that. Now, it's good news we've got some progress, but it's less good news because I don't think personally that Heathrow is the option. I have several problems with Heathrow, and various safeguards have obviously been announced in terms of there will be at least 6.5 hours of no flying during night time to help people with their sleep. There are going to be compensation packages obviously for a lot of houses that will have to be purchased, and there's going to be money put into the local community of several billion pounds. But there's a serious question mark over the air quality issue. It's the last 5 years now, in fact, Heathrow has been in breach of both UK and EU restrictions about air quality, and it's going to take an awful lot of effort and new technology, which will no doubt come in with less pollutive and quieter planes in the future, to get below the current thresholds, let alone with all the additional flights and the pollution that will cause. It's also highly likely that Heathrow is going to be challenged in the courts, and this could drag on for many years. So I think it's highly questionable, frankly, whether we will ever actually get that additional runway at Heathrow. Now, the process has started, as the Secretary of State for Transport announced. Next year, at some stage, apparently Parliament will get to vote on the legislation. But as it stands at the moment, I'm not a fan of Heathrow. I would much more have preferred if the government had gone with the Gatwick option. Now, Gatwick helps certainly the coast of Sussex with investment and jobs, so there's certainly a knock-on beneficial effect to us. I think it also can be delivered much quicker. The Gatwick people say that they could deliver this by 2025. It doesn't involve any public funds in order to achieve that. It will deliver another 24 new long-haul destinations to Gatwick. The capacity for passengers can be little different to what they might achieve at Heathrow. But there's a big difference over noise, whereas they're calculating that noise will affect something like 638,000 people living in the vicinity of Heathrow. The number of people affected or likely to be affected by a Gatwick expansion is some 36,000, and hopefully further measures can be taken to mitigate that. So I think it's good news that the government is getting on with this process at long last, but I certainly favour the Gatwick option, and if the circumstances remain the same when we come to have a vote on it in Parliament, then that's certainly the way I intend to vote. And I think it's important that I tell my constituents that, and I hope I've explained the main reasons why at this stage.